Another defeat to add to the list for Tottenham Hotspur. Straight after a succession of wins, we're now feeling a succession of nothing but L's. James, what's your thoughts on this?
Frustrating for sure. I mean, it's taken me till about now to get over the loss, to be honest with you. I felt really annoyed yesterday after battering Villa for, pretty much, I'd say, the majority of the game, having had the ball in the net 3 times and missing numerous chances in the first half. We go in 1-1 at half time, 6 minutes added on. And the only reason there was 6 minutes added on, if you think about it, is because of that injury to Bentancur. He goes down injured. We now found out he's 3 months out with an injury again. Incompetent defending again from Ben Davies and co, leaving a gap for Pau Torres with an open header. We go in 1-1, and you just feel as a Tottenham fan that suddenly it's not your day. You've got another injury to add to an injury list already of 7, 8 players. You've then also got half-time. Villa come out the blocks a little bit. Within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Ollie Watkins is onto a through ball. 1 touch, bang, again, poor defending. But what do you expect, Sam, when you've got 4 fullbacks in your back 4?
I think that the real biggest sucker punch is when they equalise like that just before half-time, regardless of the circumstances. I mean, I wasn't there at that game, but I still felt it the same painful way when I saw Chelsea equalise against us just before half-time. Liverpool, even though we went on to win that game, because then that opposition team can go into the changing rooms full of confidence and be able to carry on that confidence into the second half. That's something on us, really, that we got to look at ourselves on, because we seem to just switch off when it matters most. What was your thoughts on it? Because for me, I thought that was just another disgraceful, cynical challenge. And we are paying the price again with another injury to the long ever list of hospital patients in our team. And it's Bentancur just coming back straight from an injury. I mean, for me, I think if we've seen players get sent off for high challenges where they're not even winning the ball, I don't see that as a professional foul. I should have been sent off. Maybe I'm being a bit biased as a Spurs fan and because I'm pissed off that he's done it again, just like what he did to Doherty. But yeah, what's your thoughts?
So that's 2 players in 2 seasons where Matt Cash is injured. 2 of our very key players. Matt Doherty was key at the time, but Bentancur probably more key so now. And the added fact that he's out for 9 months is just gutting. But if I'm being deadly honest with you about the challenge itself, I think it's a poor challenge. But I do not think it's a red card, Sam, if I'm being honest. I think it's a bad yellow card that you could argue on some days have been given as a red. But I think the nature of where it was on the pitch in our half, I don't think it's a red card. You could almost do what the pundits say and say it's in between, maybe an orange, but I don't think it's as much as a red. But it's annoyed me a lot, yes.
What's the account called? Rory Talks Football, although I should probably call it Rory Doesn't Talk Football because I honestly don't understand some of the things that he comes out with. But yeah, he's basically said, if you see on the screenshot, that he's seen worse challenges. Yeah, granted. I mean, we've seen horrendous challenges in the league before, worse than that. But to say that it's an overreaction from us, what do you think? Do you think that's an overreaction from Spurs Twitter on the Bentancur injury? Reckless, cynical challenge? What do you think?
I feel like there was a bit of intent there from Matt Cash. I feel like
full on intent.
But I feel like, the fact that where it was on the pitch, like I said, I think this is a key point here. Like, why has he done that on him? He knows he's just come back from an injury, right? And that's why Brian Hill and Lo Celso were getting in his face and were so angry with him, because it felt like there was a lot of intent there for a player that was slightly injured. Maybe put one in on him, see how he handles it. Maybe he didn't mean to put him back on the injury bench for 3 months, but he also, could have had a bit of common sense and not gone in like that. He wouldn't have done it on any other player, I don't think. Well, we know he does. He did it on Matt Doherty, but I have to question it. Would he have done that on Kulusevski if he was on the same position? Probably not. I feel like because Bentancur's been injured, he might have done it. But, I don't want to sit here and accuse him of doing something on purpose and putting him on the injury bench.
I'll happily accuse him and sit and doing something on purpose. The bloke's a fraud. I genuinely hate him. And the fact that you see his smug little face just smiling on after he gets to carry on playing. Bentancur's injured. I mean, we're talking about a guy. Right, well, let's move on before we say something out. Well, more like before I say something out of line.
Go on.
Let's talk about Heung-min Son. I noticed that there were a lot of Spurs fans really criticizing him. Just before we discussed filming this, there was a question of, has he been offside too often, or is that more the pass was too slow for him to receive and he sees himself in an offside position? I mean, what do you think? Like, do you think that Son let us down alone, or was this more the creativity that let us down?
I think Son's gone a bit off the pace in the last 3 games, but then you could also argue, most of the players have gone off the pace, and that's down to partnerships up front. You look at that front 3 or front 4, should I say, against Villa. Son, Kulusevski in arguably a 10, Brennan Johnson on one side and Brian Hill on the other. These guys haven't played with each other, I don't think, ever in any competitive game. So they naturally aren't going to know, they play with each other on the training pitch, right? But they don't know exactly when they're going to run. They don't know exactly when to throw the pass. And I think a lot of the time when Son was through on goal, it was a simple ball across, and Kulusevski or Johnson or Hill were putting it in too slowly. And it was going behind Son. And there was one time where it went so behind him, he put it over the bar from 10 yards, Sam. And that's because of timing of the pass. So I wouldn't blame this fully on Sonny here. I would think, actually, although Sonny's not really firing like he normally would, look at the assists from the player. Maddison puts it on a plate for him, right? How many assists did he get before he got injured? Brian Hill's putting it too far behind him. Or, I just feel like it's not just Son's fault. I feel like it might be the players around him and the connections and the wavelength as well.
Let's also not just blame the attack, like you said earlier. I mean, Davis and Emerson Royal, to break it down narrowly, Davis isn't a centre-back when it comes to a job. I don't even think he's really a centre-back in a Conte system, because we've seen how he's performed as soon as the good form just went out the window. And Emerson Royal, he's a right back. You can't really be putting him in a centre-back. So for me, the manner of how we conceded those goals yet again from set pieces, it just goes to show how much quality we've got when our players are not injured, because they're so good in the air, Romero and Van der Ven. But then Davis and Emerson Royal, it was, like I said for the Wolves video, it was just like watching our defence last season again, conceding set pieces like that.
For the life of me, I cannot understand that lineup. I'll be brutally honest, and I'm going to say a little bit about Ange here, not slate him at all. We would take being in 5th position. This time 3 months ago, we would have probably thought we'd be struggling more, right? But it's the way it's happened. It's the way we've fallen off, right? Off a 10-game unbeaten run. But what I will say about Ange's decisions on Sunday, I disagreed with them. And I know a lot of fans won't agree with me on this, but I don't see how you can start 4 fullbacks in a back 4. You have to look elsewhere. I don't like Eric Dyer. I don't think he should be staying at the club. But you've got to have one centre-back in there. And if it's not Eric Dyer, you have to start looking at a proper centre-back that's over 6 foot tall, that's going to be able to defend corners, defend set pieces, and have some resilience against a player like Pau Torres from set pieces, 6'4". The guy didn't even need to jump, Sam. It's a goal. Ben Davies isn't getting near him. He doesn't even get near him. He doesn't jump or get near him. Emerson Royal.
Would you have expected anything differently if Dyer was playing?
Potentially.
Be honest.
Potentially defending a set piece, yes, but we could have conceded on other means from other places. But do you know what I would have done, Sam? I wouldn't have played Eric Dyer. I would have said, okay, fair enough. Emerson Royal, we're at 6s and 7s in terms of our squad depth right now. Emerson Royal is good in the air. He is pretty solid defensively. Fair play. Play him right centre back. It's not great, but play him. But I think the left centre back, you have to look at the other players on that bench on Sunday. Alfie Dorrington, how good has he been for that youth setup, Sam? He's 18 years old. He's 6'3", I believe, and he's good in the air. And he's progressive centre back in an Ange system. He loves a progressive centre back.
Non-Spurs fans have said to me, "I reckon you can do them in," but it's not one of them laws written in the game that we beat Man City. We did lose to them as well last season away, and this is at the Etihad. I'm honestly not expecting anything. If we lose, we lose. I'm not going to be angry like I was with the way we lost against Villa and Wolves, because I feel like it was a given. But I just don't want to see any feeble play, which I'm not very confident to say that, but I am insured enough that Ange is going to implement something where we will at least maybe see something to hope onto. For how long in those 90 minutes, I do not know. We could even concede in seconds, but I think we will try and give it a go attacking side of things, but defensively, we're basically screwed.
I don't even know how to be positive about this game, so I genuinely don't. Like, how many injuries we have. You know, yes, we've had a bit of a good record against Man City in recent years, but I just can't see this 11 that played on Sunday and couldn't score a goal against Villa other than, you know, an unbelievable hit from Lo Celso. I just can't see us breaking through.
Deflected, by the way, not to take anything away from him.
Hmm?
It was deflected, I think, by the way, the unbelievable hit, not to take anything away from him.
Mm-hmm. I just think, you know, we'll do a Man City review before the game, but my general thoughts on that is I don't see us coming away with anything. And that's not me being negative, because I've been a bit negative this episode, but also just a reflection on the fact Manchester City won the treble last year. They're an unbelievable footballing team, and we've got like half our starting 11 available at best. Be sure to smash the like button, hit subscribe if you're new, comment below your thoughts on these talking points. And as always, guys, remember, come on, you Spurs!